Nicole from Sydney English Teacher and from the Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher, and I'd like to welcome you to episode number 22 of Nicole's Weekly Words. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to teach you 5 great new words. I hope that you enjoy learning them too. And more importantly, I hope that you find them useful and that you'll be able to use them not only this week, but in the future as well. So the goal of Nicole's Weekly Words every week is to introduce you to 5 fabulous new words which will not only develop your English language skills, your vocabulary skills, but which will impress other people as well and help you build your confidence in using the English language accurately and successfully. So we've already had 21 episodes. So many wonderful words have already been learnt. If you haven't joined me for any of the previous episodes, please do go back and have a look. For those of you who have, maybe it's time to revise and watch some of those videos again. But today, as I said, we're here with 5 brand new words, and they all begin with the letter N. Just like me, my name is Nicole. So all the words from today begin with the letter N, just like me. So I really hope that you enjoy learning them with me. Are you ready to start? Excellent. So the 5 words for this week are novice, notorious, nimble, nurture, and nitpick. So please do stick around. Even if you've heard some of these words before, I am 100% sure that you haven't been using them very often, or maybe even you haven't been using them accurately. So stick around, because I do give a lot of detail about how to use these words, what they mean, and more importantly, I give you the opportunity to use them as well. So let's begin with the first word for this week, which is the word novice. Novice. Can you say that? Yeah, novice. Have you heard of this one before? Well, a novice is really a person who is new to something, okay? They haven't experienced or maybe been in this situation before. You could, I suppose, call them a beginner or maybe a newbie, because they've never done this before. They've never experienced this before. It's new to them. So it's really a person who is not experienced, maybe in their job. You know, they're just starting out, they're just starting a new job, and they're understanding the training, they're learning exactly what to do. So it's a new position, a new role, a new job, and there's so much to learn. There's so much for them to find out about, I suppose. So in that situation of a job, they can definitely be called a novice. A novice, as I said, can be a person who is just starting out in a new role, or maybe even in a new activity. You know, it doesn't have to be work related. So if they're starting a new activity and they have absolutely no experience in this area, you know, or no skills in this area, then they are a novice as well. So they're just beginning to learn that skill, or they're just starting to develop knowledge in that area, in that subject area. They're a novice, they're a beginner, they're a newbie, I suppose. So, you know, it could be used in the area of university, you know, when you're just starting to study at university, you're just starting a degree, I suppose, and you don't have that background knowledge. You've never studied this area before. That's when you're a novice. Maybe in a new job, as I've already mentioned, you're a novice when you're just beginning, when you're starting out. You know, it could be the same in a club, in a sports club, or maybe I don't know, a chess club or something like that. When you're just starting out, when you're a new member, you're a novice. Maybe even learning a language, you know, if you're learning English or French or Italian or Japanese, it doesn't really matter when you are starting that journey of language learning and you can't speak that language yet. You're a novice. Wonderful. Would you like some example sentences? Let's do it. I've never driven a manual car before. I'm a complete novice at this. I only know how to drive an automatic. That's true. Is that the case for you as well? Automatic is way too easy in comparison, isn't it? Number 2. I'm just a novice at taking photos with a DSLR, but I'd love to learn much more. Or with so many amazing actors in the movie, she felt like a complete novice, even though she wasn't. So there you go. That's the word novice. Let's move on to the second word for this week, and it is notorious. Again, notorious. Can you say that? Yeah, absolutely. So someone notorious is really someone who is famous or well known, but mainly for something bad that they have done. You know, it could be for a crime they have committed. So they are notorious, they are famous, they are well known for something bad, something negative, not because they're a good person, I suppose. So you could use the word infamous, that's an alternative there, because they're really known and recognized by many, many, many people, you know, but they're famous for all the wrong reasons. Not because they're good at something. I suppose they're good at something, but they're good at something bad. So they're famous for all the wrong reasons. You could use this word notorious for a person who's famous for the wrong reasons, but also for a thing, you know, for an experience, for an object, for a situation which is wrong. So for example, we could say notorious for plus a noun. You know, he is notorious for online scams, or notorious for doing something. So you're using the verb ing there. She is notorious for borrowing money and not returning it. You could even say notorious for having done something, if you want to talk about something that's happened in the past. So they are notorious for having lied about their identity. Or you could just use notorious as a basic adjective there. So he is one of the country's most notorious criminals. There you go. So they're the different forms of notorious, the different grammatical forms of using that. Some example sentences might be, this movie tells the story of a band of notorious gangsters from the 1950s. Or, the city is notorious for its daily traffic jams. You know, it's much better to take public transport than to waste hours sitting in the car. Yeah, definitely. Or, she will be caught for her notorious schemes one day soon. I am sure of it. So, that's notorious. Pretty easy. Next, we've got the word nimble. Can you pronounce it? Nimble. Great. So look, the word nimble is used when you move very fast. You know, you're able to do something with great skill, but also you're able to do this very quickly. So you're very fast, but also skilled at the same time. It can also be used to talk about someone's intelligence, someone's brain. So if someone can think and understand something very quickly, we could say that they are nimble as well. So when you move quickly, when you're fast, but also skilled at the same time, or in terms of intelligence, when you can think and understand something really quickly and accurately, of course. So you're quick and exact in either your movement or in your thought. That's basically it. So in terms of skill, we can use nimble, not notorious. We can use nimble in terms of skill when you're quick, when you're exact, when you're fast and precise at whatever you do. Or we can use it for mind. So when you are intelligent, you're quick thinking, you're accurate, you're very clever, basically. Some examples. I love watching her sew. She has such nimble fingers. Or his nimble mind worked out the answer before the teacher was even able to finish writing the question on the board. Wow. Or he is such a nimble climber for just 3 years of age. He's not afraid at all, is he? So there you go, nimble in terms of skill, in terms of mind. Let's have a look at the next word for this week, word number 4. And I've chosen the word nurture. Nurture. Can you pronounce that? Yeah, so the pronunciation is quite different to the spelling, isn't it? Nurture. Well done. So look, nurture really describes the care and the attention that is given to someone or something that is growing or developing. So if someone or something is growing or developing, then nurture is the care and the attention that you give them. So yeah, it's really when you take care of, or maybe feed, or even protect someone or something. And it's especially used when we're talking about looking after or caring for young children, or for animals, I suppose, or maybe even plants, because you are helping all of these develop or grow, I suppose. So yeah, look, it can also be used when you are helping a plan succeed. You make a plan become successful. Or when you're helping a person succeed, you're helping a person become successful. So we could be really talking about a person's job or a person's role in helping others become successful. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you nurture them, you help them. Your job is to help them, or your goal is to help them. Be a success. Wonderful. So nurture, really that care, that attention, that protection, I suppose, so that someone or something can do really well, either can develop and grow, or can be successful. Let me give you some examples. She gave up her job because she wanted to stay at home and nurture her children. How nice. Or, this is the most carefully nurtured garden that I have ever seen. It is so beautiful. Or, we are honored to offer you the role of nurturing our graduates and supporting them during their first years in the workplace. Ah, what a great job. Wonderful. Our final word for this week, I've chosen the word nitpick. It sounds funny, doesn't it? Nitpick. Can you say that? Yeah, look, and the word nitpick or nitpicking, if you want to use it in that form, is really when you unnecessarily find fault in everything, you know. You focus on the smallest of mistakes, which are really not worth mentioning at all, you know. You make a really big deal of something that is so small and unimportant. You know, for example, you know, there could be the perfectly written essay, but the teacher focuses on one comma, which is used wrongly. That's really what we call nitpicking, you know. The teacher there is really nitpicking the smallest of details, which really, in the big picture, are not important at all. Yeah, that's nitpick. So it's when you find fault, when you find mistakes, I suppose, in details that are really not important at all. You know, you're criticizing someone or something for no real reason. There's no real reason behind it. Yeah, so think maybe about a teacher. Maybe when you were at school, you had a teacher who was constantly criticizing you, and you thought, it's not important. I haven't really made that big of a mistake. In that situation, the teacher nitpicks or nitpicked you in the past. Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm sure that you have met people who nitpick. You know, a lot of parents nitpick because they want their children to be perfectionists, I suppose. A lot of teachers nitpick because they don't want their students to make mistakes. Maybe a sports coach will nitpick because they want the person they're training to be successful and to do well in their sport and maybe even become a professional or go to the Olympics or something. So in that situation, they nitpick as well. Let's look at some examples. Stop constantly nitpicking. I don't like it. Or, why does he always feel the need to nitpick? Her work is near perfect, and there's nothing bad to say about it at all. Or, his nitpicking is so annoying. He will lose all of his friends if he keeps criticizing them. So there you go. There's our 5 words beginning with the letter N for this week. We had novice, we had notorious, we had nimble, we had nurture, and we had nitpick. I hope you really enjoyed learning them, and I hope that you remember what they mean. What I'd like you to do now is to maybe watch this video again and to take some notes. It's a really good idea to visit my Facebook group, The Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher, because there you'll be able to download the worksheet for today's lesson for episode 22. And on that worksheet, you will find all of the words that I've taught you today, a summary of the meaning, of the explanation of what each of these words means, and the example sentences that I have shared with you. So it's a really good idea to download it, print it out, and then take your own notes and write your own example sentences on the side. But this week, I challenge you to try and use these words as often as possible. You know, maybe use 1 word a day. Really focus on it. Write it on your hand to remind yourself to use it. Alternatively, you know, try and use all of them as often as you can this week. They're really good words, really impressive, and native speakers use these words all the time. So the goal is, by the end of the week, for you to use these naturally, without hesitation, for them to come to you without thinking about it too much. And obviously to use them correctly as well, no mistakes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed Nicole's Weekly Words this week. Thank you for joining me. Tell your friends to join us too. I'm here every week teaching you 5 fabulous new words, and you have access to all the past episodes for free in my Facebook group, The Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher, on my Facebook page, Sydney English Teacher, and over on my YouTube channel, The Successful English Learner. Enjoy, have a fabulous week, and thanks for joining me. Bye.